Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Arthur, and I am a single father living abroad. Totally different than everyone. Um, I did the whole expat, backpacking, traveling, all those things. I started in 2019, and now I'm back in Asia. I wanted to do this blog mainly because I wanted to keep track on what I'm doing daily, and I'm a YouTube fanatic. I can be on YouTube for hours looking at videos, learning, being inspired, and mostly I guess all of us have this problem of being distracted, right? So now I've decided to create my own channel and kind of give you an idea, give you a sense of what I've learned throughout my journey. And this channel's about single fathers traveling abroad, living a life the way they want to live their life. It's hard, definitely hard. So basically, my story is that I traveled in 2019. I wanted to backpack. I wanted to do the whole, thing that everyone does before COVID. And I wasn't doing nothing back home. I live in California, and all the friends I had, I've known for more than 20 years. And I believe I just had like a calling. I was 36 years old. I didn't know what I was gonna do. And I was just stuck. Stuck. When you're in your hometown, you're stuck. You want to change, you can't. It's hard. And my whole journey started when I joined the army. I was 22. I was doing all kinds of bad stuff, and I needed a way out. And I remember a friend of mine who disappeared out of nowhere. The last time I seen him was at a house party that I threw, and he was so drunk, he acted a fool. He ended up hitting my friend's car, trying to get in his car. He smashed the window and drove off. Hit my friend's car and then drove off. And I just found him. I followed him, make sure that he was all right, because he just lived around the corner. Came to find out that he's so drunk that he just ended up with his underwear. And that was the last time I seen him. I got my ginger tea and my lemon tea anyways. That's my morning routine. It kind of like keeps me off the caffeine addiction. But anyways, so he gives me a call, right? After like I want to say 6 months. And at that time I was already doing bad. I was doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. And I was just like kind of stuck, like where am I going after this? And he gave me that call that one day. And he said, "What are you doing?" I said, just working, trying to get by." He said, "Look, man, my life changed since the last time you saw me." I said, "Like how?" "I joined the army." And boom, right there and then, that's when I knew. I was like, all right, I'll join the army. So I joined the army at 22, got to travel to South Korea, and that was the first time that, I experienced, I guess, passport bros and military, lifestyle. It was fun. It was the best thing. But I was a cook, and if you guys didn't know, man, cooks, mechanics, we don't have a day off. So it was a lesson, like it was straight real to my face, because we had nobody to cook. We were like the group that was gonna take over the kitchen of the other group before this other group could, come in and help us. So basically the first 2 months we were working 14 hours a day. I was 22, man. I think I turned 23 when I went to South Korea, and I was just like, whoa, what did I sign up for? And I remember, man, the first month, and y'all could call me a little girl, but I cried, man. I cried. I would get drunk and just cry, and just because I miss home, I miss my friends. I would call my little brother and be like, hey, what's going on? I was like, oh, we were just at a party and you know, so-and-so got into it. And I was like, what? He said, yeah, man, like, it was just crazy. But, I mean, later on, man, I met some few guys I'm still friends with till now. And that kind of helped. You know, that kind of helped me become more stable and feeling like I belong here. But I did pretty good, man. I did pretty good in the military, so I had that experience. And then after that, I got a job in Iraq. So that was my second time that I was able to travel. And when I went to work in Iraq, which is for a company called KBR, we were working for the military, and it was a contracting job. So 2 years of that, and person I was working with was saying, like, hey, you know, are you gonna go on vacation? I was like, dude, I'm just trying to do as much, you know, years I can do here to survive, stack my money, and then, you know, go back home. Say, no, man, like, just take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I did, and we ended up going to Thailand. That was back in 2010, and it was a mind-blowing experience. Mind-blowing. I remember he gave me a test. He said, look, man, I'm gonna give you a test. Look at this picture and tell me which one's the baddest chick in that picture. I was like, man, looking at it, I was like, man, all of them. He said, but you failed. I said, what are you talking about? Like, these are all men. That's what you gotta be careful for. You know, when you go over there, you gotta be careful, because after midnight, they're gonna come out and come after you. And it was real. It was like that. You don't get drunk after 12 in Pattaya, because you don't know what you're gonna be doing. So at 1 a.m., man, I would take my butt home and just be like, nah, I'm good, you know? But yeah, man, so it was that. I went to Thailand, I went to Philippines. Then finally, I went to Vietnam. To me, Vietnam was scary because, you know, the whole communist war and how we thought they hated the United States. And I was in the Army, so I was like, man, I don't know, man. Because I had a coworker say, man, I'm going back to Vietnam. You should go try it out. I said, man, isn't it like a communist country? It's like, yeah, but it's different now. So let's go back. 2011, I go back to, I finally take my last vacation, and I went to Vietnam. And it blew my mind how westernized, how safe and clean the city was. And that just opened my eyes, that all this propaganda, all these things that we hear on television, I don't know, man, it's not that, you know, truthful to what it really is. And so, you know, that ended my whole thing of traveling, and I go back home. I go back, try to go to school, fail, try to move to another city, I come back home. And so I got all these things that I tried doing while I was home, and I kept failing. I just kept failing and giving up. And then finally in 2019, I lost it. I was like, I'm doing the same stuff I was doing 10, 15 years ago. And I looked around, and all my friends, even though they got kids, they were still acting the same way. And to me, like, it's true. You want to be somebody, you're not going to be somebody in your city. You're never going to be the star. You're never going to come up in your own city. It's just never going to happen, man. You got friends that tell you can't do it. You got distractions from left to right. You got family problems. And, you know, that's what made me realize, like, look, man, I got to go somewhere. I got to go travel. I don't know where I'm going to go. But in 2019, I bought my one-way flight to Bali. One-way flight to Bali. And I never came back. I never came back to California ever again. I came back to the United States, but I moved to North Carolina. That's where we went, you know, after I got married, after I had my kid. So what I'm talking about? I'm talking about my life in the beginning, right? This is just me introducing myself, who I was, and where I'm at now. And I believe that hopefully someone will watch this video and learn from this video and kind of see where they're at in life. And who knows, man? It might change your life, it might not. But I'm just here speaking my experience, and hopefully I can teach someone, I can relate with someone, or I can just, communicate with someone that needs help, that needs direction in life. This is my first video, so let's not go too hard. Let's not go too hard. But yeah, man, I'm in Asia, and now, let's just say I'm in Asia, and I'm a single father doing it. And who knows, man? Who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows? But what I do know is I made this first video, and hopefully I'll do another one tomorrow. Other than that, see you guys later. Hope to see you again, and I'll catch up with you guys. Cheers.